Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everyone. Brewing up a beer I've brewed up a few times already. Brewing up some R&R Coconut IPA. And I got my water filter going on the stove. This was the plan. This is why these hoses were so long, so I could do this, because as you can see, water filter I have resting in the sink, and I have my mess from last night's ball share, which is why there's so many glasses over there and empty growlers and food. So yeah, the hose just comes all the way out. Got that, my boil kettle there cleaning. And yeah, this lighting's terrible, but yeah. So yeah, outside hose faucet is where I'm hooked up. That's why I wanted a 15-foot hose, and you know, wanted the length of everything instead of making it shorter, so I'd be able to just do this and then heat that water up, you know, as I'm filling up the kettle. So that was the plan, and it's working. I'm gonna get this up to strike temp, and then we'll mash in. All right, so I milled the grains. I got halfway through milling it, maybe even a little more than less than halfway through. I had to go the manual route because, of course, the battery on my drill died, and of course my backup is not charged. So yeah, still making mistakes because I'm not used to milling my own grain. So anyway, there's the grist. What is in this grist? I cannot tell you everything, but I can give you some hints. Mostly 2-row, and no crystal malts. No crystal malts in this beer. I want to stay away from crystal malts in pale ales and American pale ales and American IPAs. Maybe use a little bit if you want, but definitely less than 10%, if not, or more like 5% of your grain bill. So anyway, got that. Got mash tuns preheated with boiling water. Well, I mean, it was previously boiling water, so getting that heated up, waiting for the my water to get to temp. It's about 151 right now. I want to get up to about 165. We're gonna mash in at 151 on this beer. All right, so I'm about halfway through the mash right now. Just giving it a stir. Trying to stir it every 15 minutes. Something I've been doing more and more lately, just to make sure the temperature is even in the mash tun, and just kind of get everything nice and mixed, and get those enzymes that are doing the conversion just kind of everywhere in the mash, get the grain everywhere. So yeah, I've been doing that lately. If you notice, you know, professionals or a lot of advanced homebrewers, they'll recirculate their mash and do all kinds of things to temperature control it. So this is kind of my new thing. Instead of letting it sit there for an hour, I'm going to stir it every once in a while. And you know, my last stir will be about 15 minutes before the end of the mash, and that should be enough time to let the grain settle in. And once you start vorloffing, that's when you'll really set the grain bed as well. So anyway, that's what I've been doing lately. All right, so sparging away here. Got pretty clear runoff down there. I've probably showed this before. I put some foil on top, punctured some holes in it, and this is what I call my modified fly sparging technique. So I just take that, get some water out of there, dump it back over into the mash tun, and I'll just keep watching the line. So I'll pick a line out inside the cooler and just try to maintain that line roughly, or in between two lines, I should say. And that's how I do it. You know, I haven't batch sparged with this mash tun yet, so I don't know how well it does that. Maybe I'll just do that in the future. But I'm going to try to run off for about 45 minutes or so and fill up to about 7 or so gallons. Okay, got my coconut weighed out. Had a couple extra bags from previous batches. Got it laid out on some foil, and that will go in the oven. We're going to toast that up and add it at flame out. So there's coconut end of the boil and then during kegging, so that's kind of where it's added. And this will give it a nice flavor to start with, and then the later addition of coconut will just be added until we get that kind of right balance between the hops and the coconut. So I got to get this toasted up, and I actually need to get a bag clean for it as well. I think over here I have one of those. I probably won't use this one, but you need that really fine mesh for this stuff, or it just makes a mess. Alright, get everything up to a boil. I took a pre-boil gravity reading, and looks like I'm going to be pretty spot on to my target original gravity, so things are looking good. Going to start steaming up the camera here. Magnum hops are in for bittering, which is a slight change from the normal recipe, but I have a lot of Magnum to go through, so you can always first wort hop bit, which is what we've done, and which one to use, which hop, doesn't matter so much, but I'm just going straight up Magnum for a 70-minute boil. I probably put the hops in it for 65 minutes, so we're a long ways away from the next hop edition at 10 minutes, so this will be fun. Time to go toast some coconut. Alright guys, boil's over with. Going to add my flame out hops in here. And it's a nice blend, 4 ounces in there. I actually thought I had more of one of the hops than I did, so I had to make a substitution. But it'll be just as good as the others. Man, this smells good right now. I'm trying to figure out if I boiled off a little too much. Seems a little on the low side. But yeah, so hops are in, and coconut's going to go in here very shortly. I have my toasted coconut. I'm going to put that in there, let this steep for 15 minutes. And of course we want to make sure all that coconut is moist. You'll see the bag starting to fill up, so don't use too small of a bag because things will expand, and you want that wort getting in there and getting every little bit. That's the other part, good reason about using this coconut. Well, kind of the difficulties is, one, it might clump on you a little bit, but you get really good flavor and extraction from that macaroon style coconut, so that's what I recommend. It's gonna wrap it up for brew day. I'm just gonna start whirlpooling this sucker and start my timer on until I take the coconut out. So till next brew day, everyone, cheers.